So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that can be useful for you, since mental models are representations about how the reality works, and as much more you grasp them, higher is your probability of get what you want, that is prosperity. But obviously to get prosperity, you require to have decision making developed. And how you're a better decision maker? By having more truthful information about how the reality works, and by taking so good interpretation about the data that you got from the reality, and so understanding it depending the context that you are, what you should do. So having a good type of access to good information and having good interpretation. What's like the best way to grasp, to absorb information? Got the patterns that other ones have studied and have been shown that are things that have so can be declared as patterns, things that they tends to happen a lot of times in our history, and then so if you grasp, you can anticipate how they will happen again. And as well, having good models like is bulletproof problem solving to solve problems, other type of things, other frameworks to as well to make you a better decision maker you can grasp. But both mental models are this. Mental models are models about how the reality works. So patterns that so are put in from the abstract form that you can grasp better. And then so what's going to be the one that we're going to talk specifically today is the parable of the Candlemakers. The hidden cost of protectionism is what so is the mental model is taken from economics. So what do you have to understand? The core idea of this mental model. We have so to go back to 1084-5. Economist that's called Frédéric Bastiat. It wrote a satirical type of petition from candlemakers begging the government to block sunlight. So we're a moment that we got like a revolution, technologies were developing, and the candlemakers they've seen that the people this new technology will so take away from their job, will put them in trap. And then so what they start doing it, they start begging the government so to block sunlight. What was so their argument? Unfair competition from the sun was destroying jobs. The lesson that we should take: protectionist policies often favor narrow interests while harming the broader economy, masking hidden costs to consumers and innovation. So if the government will take so these policies that these candle makers were banging to, they were just protecting them and not the majority economy. Because we as people that are present in the economy, what we want? We want always the best thing for us. And what's the best thing for us? What is more developed? What requires less cost to us? What do we have to lose less time doing it? And then so obviously it's much better what was the sunlight could provide to us than what so called be what's the paper, the valve that a candle maker has. But because it was something that didn't so make happy these candle makers that have so developed all their business for all their lives, then so they start begging to protect to doesn't exist so this unfair competition that is the sunlight much more cheaper than what so is the job of a candle maker. And then so if they take the step to make those and create these protectors type of policies for the specific minority of economy group that are the candle makers in a society, they often so narrow these interests that are not the one that should be taken if you want to satisfy the majority of the economy, and this is bad. But then how it works? We have the paradox, or a certain type of thing, two type of differences: the seen versus the unseen. What is seen? Protecting a industry like tariffs on imports, example. That's something that's it's updated to the real life today. They save jobs in that sector because if we put tariffs on imports, I make it so create a competitive advantages for things that are made internally, making so the jobs internally of that sector, internally in my economy, they remain existing because they remain being competitive because I make it worse in terms of being easier to sell what comes from exterior because I make it more expensive by putting tariffs. That's the scene. It's like a good type of thing. I want so to make the jobs be more having more security internally. But what is the scene that people doesn't is not explicitly saying is that by putting these tariffs, what this creates, consumers pay higher prices and resources are diverted from more efficient industries. We have example, taxing important steel might save steel jobs but raises costs for car manufacturers, making them less competitive globally. So the pattern is the same. I'm protecting a small group of the economy as there are some of the jobs in a specific sector, but making it worse for all and much more higher type of group in the economy that are so the consumers that with tariffs they see their type of power cost so getting decreased in terms of what they can get. Obviously, this is talking in short term. What is other thing? Innovation suppression. Protectionism shields outdated industries from competition, reducing incentives to improve. That's the thing that everyone gets. So, examples, farm subsidies in wealthy countries keep inefficient farms alive while blocking cheaper, better products from developing nations. So, another thing that people kind of get, kind of grasp it. Other type of thing, the ripple effect. One protect industry distorts related markets. What could be like an example that I can give it to you? Restricting foreign tax in firms might help local companies, but slows artificial intelligence adoption in healthcare, education, and logistics. So see how I'm adopting this type of protectionism type of policy in one specific type of group in the economy, in one specific industry, it as well distorts related markets. So by restricting attack firms might help local companies but slows a adoption in other things. Because if I'm making harder for a specific company that has a specific type of tech as it is so artificial intelligence, if I make it harder, so it's harder for them to get revenue because I'm making it harder, but I'm not penalizing and I'm not making it worse because it's talking that their technology is bad. No, it's because they so good, they were so efficient that I'm trying to protect me because I don't want him to take the market. But then, so they don't get the money, and then so they can't scale something that is efficient because I've put the tariffs to cut away this efficiency they were creating, and so they cannot scale their business. And then what is their technology can be adopted quickly for other industries that they can be used in healthcare, education, logistics. We have modern examples, the tariffs on solar panels, like the USA once they taxed Chinese solar imports to protect domestic makers. Result, solar adoption slowed, delaying green energy progress and costing more jobs in installation than were saved in manufacturing. We have the European Union agricultural subsidies. The Common Agricultural Policy, or CAP, costs around 55 billion a year to protect the European Union farmers. What's the hidden cost of this? Higher food prices for consumers and stalled agricultural reforms in Africa, where farmers can't compete with subsidized European Union exports. So, but then how to counter the fallacy? Always ask when you see these tariffs, who pays? Every policy has winners and losers. Follow the money. Understand then what's so you that obviously have to prioritize what's good for you. Understand what's the hidden type of consequences of the actions. Because they can say that tariff is good because they protect some type of people, but they understand how it impacts, understand the whole history. We're working in a system. So we have the second order consequences of certain actions that we have to understand. This comes with having the ability to study and you having the ability to predict. And you predict better if you have more information about reality, and this comes with studying. Or if you don't have time to study, grasp what has the work that other ones have done, people, economists that you can follow in YouTube, things that they can say so what are their type of conclusions from so actions that are made. Think long term, so will protecting these industries stifle future innovation? advocate for transparency, demand cost-benefit analysis for tariffs and subsidies, and it comes obviously with you can do this job by going for people that knows more than you, and then so you can understand better how it will impact you, and support adaptive policies to train workers in dying industries instead of artificially prolonging their decline. It's always better to expose the reality than so declining what in the future will even be worse so to face. So I expect these videos make you gain more insights. I expect this was enough to make you like this channel, and so subscribe and put a like in this video, and then so see other videos that may trigger your interest. With that much more to say, thank you and see you in the next one.